When it comes to this story too, tell me about crafting it where we were given all these questions because we ride along with him. We see his ups, his downs, the things that make him think certain ways too, and how these the world affects him. How did you want to kind of open those up for us as the audience to kind of ride along with him, but also see that certain things kind of pushed him in certain directions?
I think for me, the journey to go on this, because obviously I have a very different worldview than John. And I think when the news broke, I had a very strong reaction to it. And it wasn't until they showed the banner that said John Allen Chow, 26 years old, that I felt like I didn't feel good. It didn't sit well with me to judge and dismiss him in 20 seconds. And so it wasn't until I read Alex Perry's article where he got a window into John through the father, Patrick, that it really moved me. And I thought, well, you know, is there a way of being able to kind of explore this issue, this character, this journey, but trying to connect with his humanity? He's going to have he's going to have his worldview. And as a filmmaker, I think a lot of times now, we're kind of like, you feel like pressure to go, hey, this is my worldview, and this is how you're supposed to think. And my favorite films, that never happens. When you watch Goodfellas, when you watch Unforgiven, you get dropped into this world with this very specific character, and then you go on a journey, and that's a treatment I felt like John deserved. And that led us down this path of developing it, and then the whole thing of reading what he left for us to read, which is the posts, his journal. You start thinking, well, this is not about finding, did it really happen? It's really about, well, why did he choose to write this? And it was very clear to me that it was, obviously influenced by adventure novels and Hollywood films. So I felt like, okay, well, in the spirit of it, if we honor that, let's fill in the gaps with the same type of process of using certain elements from genre, and let's put it all together. And to do that, the only way for me to be able to go, oh, the only way we can make this happen is to have an amazing cast. And to have Sky, Radhika, Ken, Naveen, everybody that came in and fully invest themselves in these characters so that they feel lived in. To me, that was the exercise, and I'm very grateful for the cast and the crew to kind of go on this 3-year journey with me.
So with this film, of course, we create some things. We have, we have articles. We have some of the things John wrote down. We have a lot of different points there too. But we kind of fill in some spots too. So Sky, if I can ask you, how did you see his journey? Not only his relationship with his father, his faith, all these things with him, but there are a lot of things along his path that pushed him one way or the other, or gave him a North Star, or turned him away too. So how do you see his path and all those little echoes that kind of affected his trail, his trail?
Yeah. Um, in a word, complicated. I think Justin was really intentional, like you say, with having different shifting North Stars. There's always one in his gut, I suppose, but there's also all this stuff which circulates around as well, that's to do with family, that's to do with friends, societal pressure, other alternative pressures, uh, from Chandler. There's all these different off ramps, and really, I think we always looked at them at sort of moments for connection and moments for intimacy, which just got missed as he disappears more and more into his world.
This film has made me think for a long time already. A lot of things to go through here. Um, I guess to begin with, what did you think of when you first saw this script? Because when you base something on the truth and actual people, like there's a different weight to it.
Yeah, for sure, actually. I mean, I didn't know about John Chow before I read the script. And when I read the script, then I read about John Chow. And what really uh, connected with me was why Justin wanted to make the film and what he wanted to say with the film. It wasn't about religion. The film is not about whether John did the right thing or not. It is not about taking sides. It is just about humanity. It's about people. It's about people connecting with each other, finding empathy and finding compassion. And it's the film does it quite beautifully because it, even though you find out what happened to John, you find out about Mira, and you sort of find a connection between them. It speaks quite profoundly of life, I think, and the world we live in.
Tell me a little about how you saw her and I guess a lot of things that the echoes of how things work and what became of him along the way. The people in his life kind of helped mold him in the same way that his goals did, his beliefs did.
Sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
So, tell me about Mira. Tell me and how you kind of saw Mira.
Well, Mira, Mira, I think the way John Chow is an island. I mean, Justin used to call him an island, which is I thought was very beautiful because he's a lonely man in search of what he's not gotten from his father, of value, of companionship, of worth. And I think similarly, Mira is also an island. She's struggling in her own life. There's something that she's battling with. And I think they're both very passionate about something external, in the absence of finding the answers for something internal. And I think in this journey, Mira somewhere starts to open up to herself because of John. I think her personal journey sort of reveals itself to her because of John's story.
One, working with Sky and what was it about kind of that relationship you think helped you kind of connect the dots between playing the characters and telling this true story?
Um, I mean, it's a true story, but I didn't take the burden of that. Mira was a fictional character, and I stuck to what Justin had in mind. And working with Sky, I mean, Sky was so dedicated. And he was so, and there's such pure innocence to him as a person that it spending time with him um made me very fond of him, and in turn made me very fond. It gave me very warm and fond feelings towards John Chow, um, in a strange way.
Very much so. Well, thank you very much. I've been talking about this film since Sundance, so I have no problem talking about it more. So have a great day.